Hi, everybody. It's Angel. How is everyone doing? If you guys cannot hear me, can you please tell me? Because I muted my thing so that it's not on. Actually, I was going to get rid of that. Hello. Hi, Debbie. How are you? So just a little housekeeping before we start. This is going to be a really big topic for a lot of people. It's going to be a topic that you're not accustomed to working with in this fashion. It's going to be very different information. Okay, thanks, Cindy. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Because now I know I can get rid of the sound on one, but still have you guys on another, which is perfect. Okay. So if you want to be a guest on my show and sit with me live, you need to turn off your computer and turn it on so that your background stuff is all off, your background apps. If you want to be part of my audience live or sit with me live, I will be giving you a guest link. You click on it and then you come in, and then I give you a space to sit and talk with me. My name is Angel Morgan, everybody, and I am your host for my show, a show that talks about everything intuitive. And that is my passion. That is what I live for, is talking about things that are all things psychic, all things intuitive, all things energetic. I am a psychic. I am an energy expert. I am the kind of person who just could go on and on and on and on and on about this kind of stuff for absolute hours. And that's just who I am. So why am I like this? Why do I feel the need to speak to people? Why do I feel the need to share? Hi, Blake. Hi, Kim. I feel the need to do these things because I love to help. I love to fix. I love to help people understand that their feelings are so important, and it's a way of actually touching. That feel is a tangible and an important part of healing, not just ourselves, but others as well. Well, what does that have to do with our topic today? Tons, because we're talking about empathy, okay? Empathic abilities. Now, because I love this show so much, I take the week beforehand and I try to do some research. I write about it. I watch shows about it, all of these different things. Very, very interesting. I learned a lot this week that I did not know. Do you know what? I am missing something. I need my show coffee because I love my show coffee. Show plug. Okay. So I learned this week that I'm not as empathic as I thought I was. Or my sense of empathy is different than I thought it was. And I've always felt like a really bad person because when I sit with someone, I can empathize with what they're going through. I can feel what they're going through, yes. But I'm one of those people, because I'm a fixer, will turn around and go, you know what? It's good to sit in what you're feeling right now, because I feel you. I feel what you're going through. But understand, you're really lucky, because for all the things you don't have, look at what you do have. Now, we got to start from the start, because there is sympathy. On the other extreme, there's empathy. Sympathy is those people who don't give other people the space to take their time. And I have been that, okay? So it's like you see someone, you're just like, oh my God, I can see the outcome. So you know what? Get over it. Let's move forward, right? Oh, I was watching this little short, which I'm actually going to post later. This short, and it's really cool. It's this little bear and this little fox, and this little fox is going through something. You know, I've had a divorce, and this little goat comes in and it goes, oh, well, you know what? At least you had a marriage. My kid is going through all this kind of stuff. Well, at least you have kids. That's being sympathetic. You're like, okay, you know what? I see what you're saying, but here, let me fix it for you. The bright siders. I love that. I was watching the show called Dead to Me. And this one character, she is what they call a bright sider, always looking on the bright side. And that's okay. So long as you give yourself the space to acknowledge what you're going through first, right? Give yourself the space to turn around and say, you know what? I'm feeling what I feel. And then when you feel what you feel, then you go to that next stage, which is, okay, you know what is the bright side? There's a middle ground. And I've been really learning that with that lesson this week through my reading, through my experiencing, and through experiences I've had in my own life this week. And I find that happens. I find that when I'm getting ready for a show, all of a sudden my own circumstances at home and at work tend to give me the clues or the valuable information that I need to grow in order to do the show, in order to share it with you. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at my things here, what you guys are saying. Hi guys, happy Tuesday. Hi Nancy, how are you? I'm looking at all that stuff. So here's the thing. When we talk about being sympathetic, that's a part of empathy, because what we're saying is, we're saying, hey, you know what? I see that you've been through a lot, but here's the bright side of it. But when you're only looking at the bright side of it, you're not allowing that person who's coming to you to feel what they're feeling. Now, let's talk about the other side of it, the other extreme, which is empathy. Empathy is to sit with someone and go, you know what? I feel what you're feeling. And you actually physically do. You emotionally feel what they are feeling. You want to cry with them. You want to sit with them, right? When a kid hurts themselves, you know, you can feel their emotional pain. Now, I'm not talking about the physical stuff yet, okay? This is all emotional. On a spiritual level, you get it. But if you sit in that too much, now you're enabling someone to wallow, right? Now you're holding your hand and going, okay, you know what? I'm going to sit in that with you. That doesn't help anybody. It really does not. So it's that whole idea of being able to empathize and going, you know what is it I can do to help you right in this moment? What can I do for you? And sometimes people will take it, you know, and I've had many experiences where people go, you know what? You can't help me. You can't. Even though they've asked for it, they will be resistant to it. At that point, you turn around and go, okay, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. That's what you need right now, right? Not easy. I don't find that easy, right? I don't find that easy, especially when you have somebody who needs to be in their own space. That scares me, right? Because if you're in your own space, does it mean you're distancing yourself? It's that whole idea of being confident enough and strong enough to go, they need their space. I'm only learning that now. And I've been doing this for 17 years. And the reason I'm saying that is because you have to understand that we are human. And we're not going to be perfect. We're not holy. We're not, Mother Teresa. Even Mother Teresa had her moments. Everybody does. Gandhi had his doubts, right? So the reality is to be empathetic, is to sit with someone, to be able to say, hey, you know what? I feel what you're feeling, and very much feel that on an emotional level, right? On a spiritual level, you're connecting with them, mostly emotional. That is empathic. Then you have sympathetic, as I was saying earlier. And the sympathetic is the whole idea of, how do I fix it? Help me. Here's how you fix it. Sorry, not how I fix it. How do I fix it for you? Here's the way to fix it. To advise, to give your opinion on something. Okay? Both are accurate. Both are valid. Both are helpful. But like I say with everything else, both have to work hand in hand. Sit and acknowledge what they're going through. Let them go through it. Sometimes it takes 24 hours. Sometimes it takes an hour. Right? But then what happens is you can go, okay, you know what? We sat in it. We've talked about it, right? You've had your space. So how do we move forward? Because yes, that's happened, but look at what we do have. You know, and that's something we all forget. Even I do that, right? Especially in these times, we tend to forget what we have because of the things that are happening in our world right now, right? We have choice. We still have choices. We can still go outside. We can still do for others. We can still connect in whatever way is necessary. And we have to look at that. I've been wallowing for a long time. And then finally I kind of went, okay, you know what? Now I need to sit down and go, what do I have? How do I find the positive in this negative? And that's what I do. Last night, I had a situation arise, and someone said to me, you're always trying to find the positive. And my son came in, he goes, you know, there's nothing wrong with finding the positive in in what you perceive as the negative, right? And that's okay, because that reminded me that there is a negative here, or what we perceive as a negative, because it's always a perception. We'll talk about that, okay? What you perceive as a negative, acknowledge it, let it happen, and then sit in what you can do about it, okay? Marie-Claude Rosier says she feels the same way. She's so beautiful. Oh my God. Thanks for clarifying the difference. This is super helpful. I know. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how super helpful this week has been. So I have you to thank. Okay. Leanna says, thank you. I have everybody to thank here because I'm learning about me, which is only going to strengthen me, strengthen my abilities, clear out my channel to help even more. Because sometimes my work is just to listen, right? But how do you listen? What does that mean? Listening means empathizing. Listening means to acknowledge and help others acknowledge where they can't acknowledge. Ask questions, which I'm learning to do too. It's really, really a cool experience, right? And it's a really neat experience because it helps you as a person to be fully rounded and grounded. People talk about feeling grounded. This is how you feel grounded, right? By acknowledging your own emotions, by acknowledging what you're going through, by sitting with it, looking at it, allowing those feelings to come up, and then saying, okay, thank you. Thank you. I see the learning now. Because the learning comes from feel, right? Everyone goes, well, how do I know what the learning is? Sit with how you feel about the situation. Why do you feel this about a situation, right? Why is this affecting me the way it has? So when you understand that, all of a sudden you can move to the next phase, which is, okay, look at what I have. Look at what I can move forward with. Now, here's the exciting thing. I learned something this week about mirror-touch synesthesia. Okay, say it with me, folks. Mirror-touch synesthesia. Synesthetes, cool phrase, eh? Synesthetes are people who feel on every level. I call these true empaths. Okay, so you have the empathic, you have the sympathetic, and then in between, to make it easier, because that's a big term, you have the true empath. The true empath is the middle ground. This is the one who feels everything. This is the one who can stand beside somebody and feel their physical being, their mental being, their emotional being, their spiritual being. This is a true empath. These are the people who like frickin' will go around the bend if they don't understand how to focus it. This is a kid between the age of 17 and 19 or 20 years old, usually around 18, 19. We all experience being a true empath. Right? When we're in high school, all that teenage angst running around in a high school, and you're walking around going, oh my God, I'm so depressed and I don't even know why. That used to happen to me. I would walk and I remember very specifically walking through the drama class with a friend of mine going, I feel so sad, but I know it's not me because I'm in a really good place. I don't understand that. Right? And that's actually why I do this for a living, because I don't want anyone to feel the way I felt when I was a kid. I don't want them to feel confused. I don't want them to feel like they're going crazy. I want them to know that there is somebody out there who gets it, who empathizes with them, and here's the way to move forward. This is what your experience. That's so important to me, okay? Marlene Snyder, true sister. Ooh. Okay. Vanessa Zimmerman, hello, how are you, darling? Okay, true empath, or a mirror-touch synesthete. This is actually something that has just recently been discovered on a scientific level that we energetics have always known. Now, here's a really cool article. I did post this article. It is on my Raising Energy page. And I wanted to read you just a little excerpt from it because I just think this is so enlightening. A brain anomaly can make the saying, I know how you feel, literally true in a hyper empathetic people who actually sense that they are being touched when they witness others being touched. Okay, I'm going to read that again just because I think it's really important. A brain anomaly or true empaths who actually sense that they are being touched when they witness others being touched. The condition known as mirror-touch synesthesia is related to the activity of the mirror neurons, cells recently discovered to fire not only when some animals perform some behaviors, such as climbing a tree, but also Let me see, where are we? Climbing a tree, but also when they watch another animal do a behavior. For synesthetes, it's as if their mirror neurons are on overdrive. So we call these true empaths, right? We often flinch when we see somebody knock their arm. And this may be a weaker version of what these synesthetes experience. This is really interesting. Now scientists find these synesthetes possess an unusually strong ability to empathize with others. Further research into the condition might shed light on the roots of empathy, which could help better understand autism, schizophrenia, psychopathy, and other disorders linked with empathy. Very interesting. So now we're actually starting to realize that some of the things we consider disorders are physical things that we're experiencing that are connected to feel. So what do we do about the feel in order for us to feel in balance? Because remember what I said earlier, right? True empaths feel like they're going crazy, right? These people with schizophrenia, maybe they're feeling other people's feelings. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe there's another realm that others are feeling. Okay, so we've laid the foundation now of this particular show. The reality is there are 3 states of being of empathy for me. Okay, now others may not agree. That's their choice. That's whatever, how they see it. Sympathy, empathy, true empathic, okay? Or mirror-touch synesthesia or synesthete. So here's the deal. When we have abilities that go beyond that, like an intuitive, like a highly developed or adept psychic, now we are connecting to the other world, okay? So does empathy apply to spirits? Does empathy apply to spirit animals? Does empathy apply to animals? Well, as we read, it does, okay? Being empathetic is a state of being. And that state of being comes from feel, therefore it is spirit-oriented. If it is spirit-oriented, then we can talk about, hey, when we pass on, or our spirit guides, right? Or our angels, or our guardians, whomever, do they feel? They can show you what they felt, but as an entity and energy, they're very pure, okay? They can show you through feel a message, okay? You can get messages through feel. Because the reality is we're biocomputers, right? My computer connects to your computer. When my computer connects to your computer, you download all your information, I download all my information. And the first connection is feel. So this whole basis of work is about empathy. That is the first and foremost ability that you need to work on. When I was a kid, empathy was, or my empathic abilities were quite high, but I didn't think it was very cool. So I'm like, whatever, and I'd ignore it. Until I realized, hey, you know what? I need to fall into this. I need to feel what I'm feeling. And all of a sudden, in feeling that, all of a sudden I could hear. And then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play with that. And then I let myself hear what I was hearing, right? The high-pitched sound, or a voice or whatever. And then when I did that, all of a sudden I could start to smell things that weren't there, like my grandfather's pipe, right? My other grandfather's cigarette, all of these different things. And then once that happened, oof, I could see. Now, having said that, each ability came with something, whether it was a mentor, a class, a dream, something that would help me get to the next phase of my abilities. But I didn't know that's what it was doing. I was just shown I have to take this class, or I have to go to this ceremony, or, oh, look, I had this dream. I wonder what that was about. And then all of a sudden, it would help to enrich the experience. Debbie says, my information comes in feel, sound and sight, hearing things, objects coming on that should not, perfume that is not being worn in the area. Right. Okay, so those are other abilities that we cover in different shows. In this particular show, we are very specifically looking at empathy. But like I said, and like Debbie mentioned, it is all connected, okay? Nancy says, wow, this is very interesting. Helps me to truly understand certain people in my life. Okay, yes, absolutely. Because the reality is to one degree or another, we are all empathetic. So there are those who are highly acute in their ability to feel other people's emotions. Okay. A lot of times these people will stay away from counseling, but they make amazing counselors. Some of them suck. Some of them suck. They're just like, okay, here's an emotion and I'm feeling your emotion. I want to be there. And then they begin to advise. They begin to give opinions. They don't understand how to work with their particular ability. But then there are those who do become counselors, who do work in victim services, who do work in these realms of nursing and compassion work. And all of a sudden, they have found their place as a healer because all they do is listen and they feel what they need to do next. Because that's really what this ability is about. It's to inform us. So if I sit quietly and I feel somebody's feeling and I don't feel the need to say something or do something, just feel what they're feeling, all of a sudden, the opportunity will arise for me to take action. Okay, I suck at this. I really do. This is something I experience in moments that I'm actually getting way better at. So when you trust enough to just sit back and do nothing and give that person space and feel what they're feeling, guess what? You're giving them space to feel for themselves as well, to work it out on their own as they are speaking. Okay? And remember something too. We reflect each other. So if my partner is feeling something, right? He's feeling something that he's going through. And then I feel that. Don't forget that to some degree, he's empathic too. We all are. So if I'm feeling him, it's going to bounce off me or come into me, and then he's now working with me. So then that's going to go back to him. So now it's doubled, right? So I feel him, and then he feels me back. So if he's really pissed off, really angry, and all of a sudden I take that on and I become angry, guess what's going to happen? Anybody? Yeah. He's going to take that on. He's going to become angry. And then I'm going to take that on and I'm going to become angry. And we feed off each other. Okay? If he's sad and depressed, I'll feel that. And then I become sad and depressed. And then he feels that. Right? So remember that other person, what they're feeling is going to be feeling you too. So it's that balance. So how do you work with that? How do you do that? How do you sit with someone, take it on, but not take it on? Gotta let it flow. You take that, you allow it to resonate, and then you breathe it out. Because you can't take on their stuff. That is not helpful. It will physically harm you to take on other people's stuff. So I have a story about a dog that I've used before. For 2 years, he lived with the daughter of a man who died of throat cancer. 2 years later, the dog died of throat cancer, right? Animals are empathic. Animals not only feel what you're feeling, but they will take it on as well. Humans are the same way. So because we are able to feel, we are also able to take on emotional debris, mental debris, all of this kind of stuff. You can't do that. So how do you let it go? You breathe, you cleanse, you clear, you do your energetic work. A lot of people come to me Marlene says, do you send energy back to the other? No, you let it move through you because there's no sense in sending it back. You're not actually sending it back. They're just feeling you, right? So you feel them, they feel you, and it goes back and forth automatically. You can't sit there and go, you know what, this is his anger, and send it back to him. Usually what I do is I will turn around and take this, if it's not mine, and turn it into healing light. And it's usually Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael I call on, or anyone of the light. I ask and give permission to any of the light. If these emotions I'm feeling are not mine, if this experience I'm having is not mine, please take it. Help me understand it, then take it from me joyfully and, turn it into light energy to be used and transformed to work with other people. Because you can do that. You can take energy, have it transformed, so now it's out there to be used for other people's healings. It's pretty cool stuff, huh? I learned that very early on. So a lot of times when I'm frustrated or when I'm in a bad space, I will breathe. I'll just take a breath to release everything. And both Carl and Jay will turn to me and they'll just like, are you okay? Are you okay? It always worries me when you take a breath, right? Sometimes they're like, am I in trouble? You took a breath, am I in trouble? You're not in trouble, I'm just releasing. That's a big thing. Breath is a big thing because energy is connected to that. Feelings are connected to our breath, right? That's what keeps the channel going. Cindy, I do feel for other people's feelings and animals and love to help them if I can. I will listen to them or hug them or animals. I just feel the need to. Always had this feeling. Not sure that makes any sense. Sure it does. Because that's the action that comes with what you are feeling. People don't need to say what they need. They just need to feel, and you will be able to interpret that and take the action, right? There are people, I mean, I have them in my own life where it's like, oh my God, you always say the right thing at the right time. You always give me a hug exactly when I need it. You always, you're always there and show up at the right time because they feel me. They're asking me what I need without asking me what I need and taking action on what they are feeling, right? That's a true empath. A true empath is like that, okay? They just know, right? Some people will call that the knowing. Actually, they're just feeling, okay? What you feel, it is real. So, empathic abilities are something that are innately a part of us and animals. With animals, because they're so instinctual, they are high empaths, right? They're more true empaths than anything that exists because they are all about, how do I feel in this moment? Do I feel hungry? Do I feel like peeing? Do I feel like going to sleep? Do I feel, and they are in the moment, right? So the more empathetic we can be, the more of that true empath will come out. So here's the thing. My reality is that if you really want to experience the idea of true empathy, and let's say you have a hard time with it, then sit quietly and feel. Just open yourself up to feeling. Do nothing. Practicing do nothings. Doing chakra realignments, doing energy work. Like just before this, I went and had a life activation done, which helps me to recoup. I do my work. Well, okay, I don't do my work as well as I should, but I do my work. And that's actually on my to-do list, is to do my work every day now. In that's going to help me grow. That's going to help me feel. That's going to help me see. Anything you do to clear you is going to help others as well, okay? It's work, but fun work, right? If you're not having fun, don't do it. Sorry, but that's just the truth. All right, so I am going to, hold on a second. I am going to I'm going to copy our link. I'm going to go over here. Whoopsie. I'm going to go over here and I am going to put our link, paste, into our guest link. And here you go. Please remember, once again, just a little bit of house cleaning. If you're going to sit with me, make sure your camera has permissions, turn off your computer, turn on your computer. It'll close all the background apps. When you click on that link, it'll bring you directly into the studio, and then I can bring you to sit with me. If I can't see you or hear you, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to sit with you, but I would love to discuss this with people and hear what your stories about being empathetic are. Interesting thing, the reality is that when we are empathetic, when we are strong in our convictions of who we are, the reality is that grounding helps us to be even more open to other people. Okay, we're going to try Debbie. Debbie comes on quite a bit. I love her. I hope I can hear her because usually we have problems with our sound. How's your sound? Can you hear me?
My sound's great. I can hear you.
1 second. Hello. There I am, energy expert. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi, Debbie. Oh, wait a second. Ha! There it is. That was me. I hope I can hear her because we have problems with our sound. Okay, so can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Debbie? Yay, I can hear you too. You can't hear me? Okay, put your sound up. Put your sound up. Put the sound up. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Sound's up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Perfect. I can hear you too.
I can hear you.
Let's talk about empathy. let's talk about your experiences. If anybody else wants to sit on me, look at how easy it was for Debbie to come sit with me. I want to hear you today. I want to hear your experiences. I want to hear your stories, because your stories will help other people's stories. So please come and sit with me. I would love that. Okay, Debbie, let's talk about empathy. You were on our show last week, and it was a lovely conversation. So talk to me. Talk to me about your experiences with being empathetic, or any questions you have.
Okay. Right. So first, I'd just like to say that thanks to Wendy at the Horse Spirit Connections, God rest her soul, she is the one that finally made me realize that I'm an empath. I told her since I was a little girl that I'd have people come to me and just stand by me and start telling me all their problems. Total strangers, total strangers. And nowadays I can feel people's negativities, and I find I take on so much. So I need a lot of help on trying to block this. It's a real problem for me.
Yeah.
And it's made me unwell.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not about blocking, okay? Because if you block your abilities, you will become even more unwell, right? So my sister is a dream walker, right? And she used to have dream walker. She's a dream messenger. So she gets messages and dreams from ancestors and what have you. So she decided, I don't want to dream anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore because of some of the things she was seeing. And since she did that, she got really sick, like really, really sick. And then when she decided, you know what, I will dream again. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm just going to let it happen. And she got better. If you deny this spirit part of who you are, it will have an ill effect on your health, because there's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And when you turn that off, you're done. This is a fantabulous question, because it's all about setting boundaries, okay? And everybody has their way of setting boundaries. I don't particularly like protections that go, okay, here's the Teflon and here's the mirror, so everything stays out. Because if everything stays out, guess what? Your good stuff is going to stay out as well as your bad stuff, right? So,
well, thanks to you, I've learned boundaries.
Oh, thank you. I love that. That is what I want to hear. I want to hear how I've affected people in such a good way. Boundaries are important even on the spiritual realm, because the reality is you can simply say, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, keep out the bad and let in the good. And whatever they feel that is what they will do, because you're still going to have arguments. You're still going to have your everyday life, but a 10 argument might now be a 2, right?
I do those affirmations every morning that you've taught me.
And what are those affirmations given you?
They are, in the last 4 months, have really helped. But I will say that I do have a lot of people over many years saying to me, you know, you're really negative, but it's not my negativity. I'm feeling their pardon the thing, their shit. I'm just feeling their stuff, you know, and they don't get me. So I feel isolated.
Okay, but make sure it is theirs. Now, here's the thing that empaths do. This is a trap that empaths and psychics and intuitives fall into. And I've fallen into this, okay? Everybody does. Be careful that it is somebody else's, because it's too easy not to take accountability. Everybody's shit is theirs. All the shit that happens to us is about somebody else. Guess what? It's not. Sometimes it's square on your shoulders. Period. End of story. Accountability is big. This is why you have to literally turn around and go, if this is mine, let me understand it. If it is not, take it from me. Within minutes, you should feel the difference if it's not yours or if it is yours. Because if it doesn't go away, baby, you need to start looking at your own shit. Okay? So we have to be careful of that, even as intuitives. My biggest thing is I'm kind of a Nancy know-it-all, in the sense that I'm always right about my readings. And yes, but sometimes I can be biased when it comes to my family, so I have to be careful, which is when I reach out to others, okay? And there's also that. Sometimes if I'm concerned that what I'm feeling, I don't know, right? Is this mine? Isn't this mine? Is this mine? I have a tribe around me. And that tribe helps me see clearly, because sometimes I can't. Thank you, Debbie, for coming and sitting with me. That is such a hugely important part of this. You're so awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love sitting with people. So if you guys want to come sit with me, the the guest link is there. Please click on it. The reality is accountability is important. Having a tribe around you is important. And understand there are going to be those days when you don't know if it's yours or somebody else's. That's when you have to reach out. That's when you have to start asking questions. Okay. There are days when I wake up and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm feeling this or that or the other. And then all of a sudden, Jay or Carl or one of my friends will come to me and go, oh, I'm experiencing this. Oh, okay, that was yours. That happens with clients. About a few hours before I sit with a client, I will experience something that belongs to them because I'm already connecting to their network. And empathetically, I'm actually tapping into them to be able to feel what they're feeling in order to sit with them and understand on a deeper level. Okay. But again, accountability, very important. Debbie, thank you so much for sitting with me today. That was hugely important because it is. It's too easy to go, you know what? Everybody's shit is theirs. It's theirs. I'm feeling their stuff. No, not always. No, not always. And if you're doing your meditative work, if you're doing all that stuff that you need to be doing for you to keep you clear, you will be able to discern your abilities or your experiences from others. So that's the next topic, your stuff. Now, I am taking questions right now. So if you have any psychic questions, anything you want me to read, we are at the halfway mark. It is time for you to ask your questions of me, and I will read you. I have no problems doing that. Nancy P says, love affirmations. I practice them every morning before I start my day. Yes. Self-love affirmations, feel-good affirmations. Yeah, okay, some people think it's new agey. So what? Do it anyway. It's not like you're screaming it from the mountaintops. Oh my God, I'm so hot. Here's the deal. When it comes to working with your abilities, you're going to have days when you feel like you're crazy, like you're bombarded, like you're overloaded. When isolation started, I couldn't go out. It was too overwhelming. I had a day when I came home, I had to go in the washroom, and I was just all of these different emotions. So protections are very important. And here's one for you that I think would be really, really, really good. And you can use this whether you feel you're an empath or not an empath. I don't care. Like I said, everybody has it to some degree or another. And it's not just about feeling other people's feelings. It's also about keeping out energies you don't need. I don't believe in negatives and positives. I believe in heavy energy. Heavy energies and light energies. Sumi and Kucha energies, which is the South American way of looking at things. Because perception is everything. How you perceive a circumstance is step one, right? What is this circumstance? Why am I in this circumstance? Why has this circumstance come to me? A lot of times it's not for you to heal. It's for you to witness. It's for you just to be there to help people sort out their own emotions. So a lot of times when we feel other people's feelings, there isn't anything for us to do about it except be there. Be there. Because if I'm feeling their feelings and they're feeling my feelings, they innately just don't, they're not feeling alone anymore. Thank you. They're not feeling alone anymore. And what is the bottom line? Bottom line is nobody wants to feel alone. They don't want to feel alone. So when you sit with somebody and just sit with them, hold their hand, be beside them, they feel what you're feeling, which may be what they're feeling. And they're not going to feel alone anymore. And that's really important, especially with kids. Just talk about that for a second. Oh, Marie, yeah, do it. I want to buy a property in Quebec. Is it time? Yeah, it's going to happen for you anyway, regardless of what you do. If you sit and had a coffee, someone will turn around and go, hey, there's this great property. It's going to happen for sure. Tabitha, oh, she's clapping. Thank you. Lisa says, not too sure how to create an account. Thank you for doing this. I don't want to miss the talk. Namaste. Namaste. There's no account. There is a link that I just put there. If you click on the link, it'll bring you into the studio. There's no account, nothing you have to download. Kim, I have to say that I've always worried about my energy. Sometimes I get into a funk and have such a hard time getting out of it. Oh my God. So yeah. So I withdraw because I don't want others to feel my energy. I don't want them to feel my, okay, look, people, here's the deal. You got to feel what you're feeling. Your friends, your family, your tribe, you're not burdening them. It's more of a burden when you don't go to them, and it's actually quite insulting. I have friends that I've helped that then when they have their issues, they never come to me. I feel untrusted. I feel unworthy. And I feel like, hey, I trust you enough to come with your crap. Why can't you come with mine? Right? And the reality is we can't be afraid of sharing our feelings because that in of itself is a conversation. That in of itself is communication. For a Gemini, that's highly important. Without that communication, don't even bother me, right? The reality is you can't hide your feelings anyway. Remember that this goes out, feelings go outside your body. Your mom could be in friggin' Kakistan, okay, in Kakistan, and she will still feel you. Who's had that thing? Give me loves and lives where, you know, all of a sudden you're feeling like crap and somebody all of a sudden calls you and goes, hey, you know what? Are you okay? I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. I want loves and lives. How many times have you done that for somebody? You know what? I felt the need to call you. Something told me I should call you. I want loves and likes, because the reality is people know what you're feeling. Stop trying to hide it. Feeling your ick. They want to feel your ick. They're your tribe, Bubba. Okay? It's okay. Yeah, look at all the loves and likes. See? So we all have been there. Don't be afraid to feel. People already know. You're not hiding anything. You really aren't. Kids. Really, really interesting. With children, they're so highly open. So they take on stuff. They're a gauge. They really are. If I'm in a really bad space, you can pretty much be sure Jay is going to pick up on that. If he's in a bad space, I know. And it's partly because he is my biological son, but also because he is highly open. And he's 16 and a half. Kids from 0 to 7 are completely open and they're pure. So usually they don't have any crap. The only crap that they have is the crap we teach them. The feelings they have, these are experiential. As they experience things, they understand sadness. They understand happiness. They understand grief. They understand this. They understand that on a physical level. This is why I always tell people, always, when you experience anything, I don't care what it is, register the feeling. You've had a bad relationship? Sit down, feel what you felt in that relationship. You've had a bad experiences with a cashier in the store? Sit down, feel what you were feeling. You've had an amazing time at a wedding? Sit down, feel what you were feeling. Why? Because you're making a catalog, an energetic catalog. Okay, that's what this experience is like. I want to be in that experience again. Oh, no, I know that energy. That's a narcissist. No. Okay, you're making a catalog. And it stays in your heart, and it stays in your genetics. It stays in your DNA from this lifetime and all lifetimes forward. This is why our past lives influence us, because we have feelings from those past lives that actually duplicate themselves here, right? It's called a loop. These are little nuances you're not going to find in books. These are little nuances you're not going to find on the internet. This is why I spent 9.5 years of my life working with women and in a little curiosity shop that was the blessing of my life, right? Everybody knows the Hedge Witch, loves and likes, please. The Hedge Witch in Newmarket. You don't live in Newmarket, it is so worth the drive. It's in Sharon, Ontario. Wonderful place. Diane is the owner. Her daughter works with her, Megan. Love them to death. I spent 9.5 years with these people who are like family to me, and I learned, and I learned all of the nuances from them, which was a catalyst for the next thing. Find people to learn from. Josie, no questions. I'm only meant to listen today. Haha, I got your text, by the way, Josie. I did. I just wanted to let you know I did get that just now. We're in the middle of the show. Kim Sharon. I was going to say Karen Sharon. Kim Sharon, thank you. Vanessa Zimmerman. What to think about today, people. This is one of those shows that I would like you guys to share. This is one of these shows that I want you to think about and watch and rewatch. Okay? This is important. You know, when you are in funks, how do you pull yourself out of it? Because feel is energetic, you can shift a feeling. Music, playing with children, going for a walk with your dog, going for a run. And sometimes it's not easy to do, right? But again, it goes right back to the beginning. Acknowledge the emotions you have, sit in it, but then go, okay, I've acknowledged it. I have felt it. I have asked myself the questions I need to ask. Did I need to talk to somebody else? Okay, I've talked to somebody else. I know what I don't have. What do I have? When we get to the what do I have, all of a sudden we start motivation again. We feel that motivation. Right? It's exciting stuff. Tabitha, I feel all different types of energy from people, very strong area for me. Yes, and for a lot of people, it is a very strong area. You just have to find which level you're best at. Okay, so let's talk about levels for a second. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Some people are empathic on a spiritual level. They feel spirits. They feel the things that are being shown to them through spirit and guidance and guardians and all that jazz, ancestors. I myself have worked on murder cases, and I can actually feel somebody hanging themselves. I'm really sorry. Or things like that. I can feel an animal before they pass. That's okay. Okay, don't be afraid of that, because the thing is it's a feel. It's not something you need to take on, and it is an experience. It's not a great experience, but it's an experience. You feel the happiness and joy of people. That's allowed. That's the spiritual aspect of it. I had a couple who passed away together, an older couple. The love I felt, it was just astounding. That's what she was showing me. They felt together. And understand, they're not feeling it in that moment because now they are pure energetic, right? They still love each other. I'm sure they feel it on the spirit level, but they're showing us how they felt here. Okay, don't make that mistake. All right. Emotional empaths are the ones that we're commonly used to. We feel other people's feelings. Okay, that does not make you a true empath. A true empath feels all of it on fairly equal levels. Physical. So that's the people who can stand beside somebody and they can feel someone having a heart attack or about to have a heart attack. They can interpret, they can read the DNA system, they can read the genetics. This is a highly developed skill in medical intuitives. Okay, huge in medical intuitives. And then the mental. So mental empaths are people who have a high empathic ability or feel with mental stuff. Those are the people who can kind of feel the thoughts that are happening, almost read the thoughts that people are thinking. When you're in a couple, and the couple is really close, the people who can finish each other's sentences, the people who know what they're saying, or they say something and the partner goes, whoa, I was just about to say that, right? Those moments of clarity. That's actually a form of feel. Okay, we each, like in animal communications, specialize in something. One of those will be higher than the other. Okay, the other thing you guys need to understand is that just because you have empathic abilities does not mean that you're a great listener. Okay, it doesn't. You can feel other people's stuff and not care. You can. There are times, I'm a Gemini, very detached, like a doctor. It's like, okay, I see what you're feeling. I feel it. I'm registering it. Let's move on. That does not make you a bad person. Okay. Your skills and abilities are there. It doesn't mean that you have a lack of compassion. It doesn't mean that you have a lack of consideration for the other person. You're registering it on an emotionally logical level. Okay. That's called intuitive intelligence. Right? That's an intuitive logic. You feel it, and you're just like, okay, I'm registering that. Next. I'm registering it. I'm feeling it. We've worked through it. Let's move on. Okay? You are not a shitty person for that. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I used to feel like a really bad person because, yes, I listen. Yes, I'm empathetic in most cases. I feel and I cry with people, right? And but then there are times I'm like, you know what? I feel what you're feeling. I'm taking all of that, but me as Angel, I need to have that step back detachment in order for me to keep my own sanity in some cases, or in order to help, like a paramedic. You think a paramedic doesn't feel the situation? They have PTSD, half of them, firemen, policemen, but they have to have that ability to be able to step back and watch and observe what's going on, even though they feel. Okay. So the reality is that there are going to be times when, yes, I empathize with you. Yes, I'm going to ask questions, but you know what? I need to step away from this for my own sanity. Okay. Really, really important. Please help me. Camille. Okay, Camille, we're going to put this one up here. My dogs keep attacking my cat. Can you please let me know if you can tell me what is happening here? Thank you. Please. Just started happening a month ago. Yeah, one of your cats is actually, it feels like they're becoming more dominant. And because they're more dominant, I feel like there's some sarcastic remarks happening. And they're really, it almost feels like they're bugging the dog. They're making fun of him, or they're doing something. The dogs had it. The dog in itself has no issues, and there haven't been issues, but one of your two cats is just Ooh, I feel like there are two cats. I don't, you said my cat, so I don't know if there's one or two, but it feels like there are two. But I feel like there's an alpha thing happening, and it's like the cat's like, whatever, screw you, like, I just, whatever. And the dog's getting really upset. The dynamic of your two animals is changing. It's not territorial. I feel like, unfortunately, the cat has instigated this by saying something or doing something repetitively. That's what I get, repetitively doing something that's really bugging the dog. Tell the cat to stop. Tell them to stop. The other thing you can do is get an animal communications done, where the animal communicator can speak to both your animals. You can also work with Bach remedies. Bach remedies are really great for situations like that. You can use rescue remedy, which would really calm both of them. So spray a little on your hand, pet your animal. Don't ever try to make your animal ingest a remedy. It needs to just get into their energy field, okay? Awesome. I hope that helped. I really, really did. Okay, let's see. Who else here? My cat, whoops, my cat, a dog attacks the dog. Yes, yeah. So dogs had it. Dogs had it. June, could you tell me if my injuries to my left arm and shoulder are going to get better, or am I looking at a lawsuit against the hospital? It's going to get better. I can feel it. It's so funny because it's so automatic for me. I can feel it. It is mending. With me, not only can I feel, I can see as well. So I can actually see. It's like, it feels like a fracture. Did you actually see that? It almost feels like, I don't know if it is a fracture, but it almost feels like that. And it's up in the shoulder, like right in here feels where the pain is. And I feel like I consistently want to carry my arm. So yes, it's going to get better. It's going to have time, but no, I don't see a lawsuit. If you do, you're pursuing it, but you don't need to pursue it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You're just doing it out of principle. I don't feel they've done anything. Like nobody's done anything. Blake, our rescue dog, Abby, constantly licks. Whoops, missed it. Licks. How can we stop her from doing this? Okay, that depends on what the underlying issue is. I'm not a vet, so I can't really say. But an energy, they just showed me an energy clearing is good for this dog. Something you can do is you can place your hand on the dog. I invoke the light of the God within. This animal is a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. And you say that 3 times. And then you blow on the dog, and that should clear a lot of stuff. The other thing you can do is remember too that we are in the summertime, so animals are affected like that. That can happen. Mainly from paws. I don't get it as stress licking. I don't get that at all. I get that there is a constant need to do something. There's also a bit of boredom there. There's a bit of boredom. So when you see it, they're saying just stop them. But the other thing you can use too is crab apple Bach remedy, because that's for feelings of feeling dirty. Okay, so they constantly have to do something, and then they go, oh my God, I don't feel clean. I don't feel clean. So crab apple Bach remedy, a couple of drops in your hand, pet your animal with it, on their hands, on their paws would be great. Okay. Cindy, can you see when I might have surgery for my knee? I don't feel like it's really far off into the future. If you do, that's a good thing. That's going to sustain you. Oh, that's another thing too. Feelings, thank you, Cindy. Feelings are carried. So if you have a feeling that is unresolved, it's going to come out physically as an ailment or illness, or you will create a block in yourself that again will end up in a physical ailment or illness. So you always want to acknowledge your feelings for your own health and well-being, your physical health and well-being. When you have a feeling, or when somebody else, you want to encourage them to feel what they're feeling. Because the reality is with you, they're in a safe place. Even if they have to like bang on a pillow or scream into it, that's okay. Because these things allow your body to release. Okay, very, very important. Maria Lenore Ramos. Hi, Angel. My daughter Ashley is having some health issues. Do you see something we should be worried about? I don't. She is exactly what I'm talking about. There is this need to express herself. She doesn't know how, so she feels very down. For her, I would recommend agrimony Bach remedy, because that's for sense of expression. She really needs to release whatever's on her heart. Also, a rose quartz would help to keep that open, that area. She'll feel very uncomfortable. She'll feel very uncomfortable wearing it. And fluorite would be better. Okay, that's kind of a greeny purplish stone. Fluorite would be best as a necklace for her. If she's going to wear rose quartz left hand as a bracelet, that's what I'm being shown. And also for her agrimony, agrimony, agrimony Bach. I'm just going to write that down. Agrimony Bach remedy. Okay. And also, do you know what I think I'm going to do? Since I have it up, I'm going to copy. Oh, maybe I'm not going to copy. Hold on. I'm going to copy. No, it won't let me do it. All right, I'll do it later. I am going to put the link to that article in later so you guys can see it. Okay, and actually, again, it's on my website. So, or on my website. It's on my Raising Energy page. Please encourage people to like my Raising Energy page. If you want to know more about me and the work I do, you can go to raisingenergy.com or Instagram at raisingenergy.com. I also have an animal page on Facebook, facebook.com/Angel Morgan Pet Psychic. And if you want to learn more about this, I also write a blog about it, mypsychiclifestyle.com. In fact, this week's blog is all about this work, which is really exciting. Pat Parkin. Hi, Angel. Hi, Pat. Vanessa, is there anything health-wise that I should be concerned about? Oh, it's so funny you said blood pressure. I didn't actually read past the question. Yeah, I just feel like blood pressure might be something you want to consider. I've been going to blood tests to find out about these imbalances I have in my blood and thyroid. Yeah, all I keep getting is a constriction. There's something about feeling constricted. So you might want to take a look at eating for your blood pressure, eating for release. That's really what it feels like. So eating for your blood pressure, you find a lot of stuff on the internet for that. And that's actually because it just feels really constricted. It's not like fibromyalgia or anything like that. Maria Ramos says, thank you. You're welcome. Carmel says, why is my house constantly invaded with water dripping from the ceiling, leak in the basement? What are you emotionally not addressing? Whenever we have emotional problems and it is an overflow, again, feeling, it can also come out in our environment. So let's talk about that briefly. When we feel our feelings and they become overwhelming, not only will our body respond to it, our environment will respond to it. Okay. When our bodies respond, or when our feelings are responding to things, remember that it goes outside our corporeal self and it reaches out into other stuff and can affect other stuff. Because we are kinetic beings, we don't necessarily encase all of our energy all the time. It has to go out in order to connect to things. So if we have a big burst of energy, you can have an outage or you can have water problems. If you're not dealing with something, and your guides and guardians will show you too. So for you, it's about what emotions are you addressing? And I do feel you're in a high emotion right now for something that's going on. There's a bit of sadness or I would say depression, but not really. It's on the verge of. Oh, shoot, Pat, I missed your question above. Can you please give it to me again or just repaste it so I will see it? Kim Davies, anything I can do to help with my energy? Being an empath, I've been feeling exhausted lately. Okay, yes, a lot of people are feeling exhausted because we're hive mentality. We do feel each other's feelings, and in society, it's starting to lift a little bit, but it's still there. So this is what you do, right? Every day, this is what I do. The first thing I do is I invoke the light of the God within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. And I say that 3 times. I invoke the light of the God within. I am clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. I invoke the light of the God within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide. Right? And I blow. And then after that, I place my hands on my lap. I close my eyes and I allow a vision to come to me like a bubble. It can be anything. Can be anything. White light, blue light, vines, anything it wants to come. Really, really funny. I see, I don't know what they call them. They're Australian animals, not a koala. It's like a quark or something like that, or a quokka. And it's funny because he's sitting up on my chest. But that's my protection right now. He's protecting my heart. There we go. So I'm going to allow that vision. Keep all the bad, let in all the good. And then I see houses and buildings and streets, and that's a new one. I've never seen that. And I just let myself sit. Okay, so the invocation first, then allowing a vision to come to you, right? Then you allow yourself to go, keep out the bad, let in the good, right? And then you let it activate. You let it move or shake or whatever. You will at times be able to feel those visions. Like even me, I can feel that still around my heart. And so fuzzy and warm. And it's really cool. That's my ability. I can go beyond that. I can feel what other people are feeling physically. Animals, I can become them. So that's also another thing. Shape-shifting on an emotional level is a form of empathy. So if you're sitting with an animal and you become them, that is a form of empathy that children are really wonderful at, right? They're always playing animal, and they're doing things because they're so highly open. What happens when a kid is so highly empathic that they actually begin to isolate themselves? Teenagers, really good example of that. When people begin to isolate themselves, especially teenagers, it means they're overwhelmed. That protection I just gave you and that cleansing and clearing, that will help any teenager, any child, any animal. With the child, they may not be open to it. You're the parent or you're the guardian or you're connected to them. Close your eyes, okay? Envision them, place the protections on them. That's all you have to do. And I do the invocation first because there's no point in putting protection over somebody who's been rolling in energetic mud, right? You got to do the shower first and then you got to do that, okay? Good. That actually is also on my website in something called the healing space where I have that. So you guys can go to my website and find that, or raisingenergy.com/healing space, healing dash space. Okay. Do you see anything for my retirement? What will I do? Oh, that's a reading in itself, Carmel. So, you know, you and I would have to get together for that one. It is now 2:00. I have had a fantastic time talking to you. I know I've been talking really fast today. That's partly my coffee, but partly because there's so much information here that I want you guys to get the nuances of empathy, sympathy, you know, mirror-touch synesthesia. These things are really important to research. These things are really important to read about. But unless you're actually working with somebody, the little nuances are the things that we tend to miss out on. Find people, find your tribe, talk to people. It's okay. Okay. So again, raisingenergy.com, at Instagram, at Instagram, at Raising Energy on Instagram. And everybody have a fantabulous week. My blog is the, okay, can you blog the last couple of invocations, please? Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. I am going to put the invocations on my blog as a category. You're going to have to wait about a week so I can get to it. But that's actually brilliant. So I will. mypsychiclifestyle.com. Please share this video, share this information, vitally important for people to understand, especially at this time because of isolation. We're feeling our feelings and everybody else's. How do you deal with that? Thanks, everybody. Have an absolutely fantabulous